I was born and raised out at Hillsboro. Today it's called Leaper's Fork, above our country store. My mother ran the store in the daytime. My father in the daytime ran a sawmill. My father had a third grade education. My mother had a sixth grade education. And they wanted me to be the first Lehew to ever go to college, and I hated every day of school. But even though they died at an early age, I was a teenager, I kept their wishes. I was a page in the United States Senate in 1956. I got to know 5 presidents while I was up there, 3 of them on a personal daily basis before they became president: Kennedy, Johnson, and Nixon. I was president of the Chamber of Commerce. Back then, the interstate highway system came into existence. That was when I was a page. In fact, I had a little small bit to do with the interstate highway system. I took the bill that was passed. Senator Gore was the co-author of the interstate highway bill that Eisenhower came up with. And it was one of the greatest things that's ever happened to our country, the interstate highway system. But it started killing little towns like Franklin and all over the United States. The Kmart, Walmart, Sears, and Dillard's went out to the interstate where the big traffic was. Downtown Franklin was dead. As president of Chamber of Commerce, I had been over in Europe in the Tennessee Air National Guard. I spent time over there, and I fell in love with the little narrow cobblestone streets, the baker living above the bakery shop, sidewalk cafes. I said, guys, this is what we need to do. We can't compete with Kmart, Walmart, Sears, and Dillard's. But I could not sell it. So we were heavy in the construction business and all then, and I talked my brother-in-law, and let's go up on Columbia Avenue and build. I want to prove to myself and others that this idea of tourism is where we need to go for Franklin. And we built Carter's Court down the street here on the right, 26 shops and restaurants. We had lunch at Miss Daisy's, see the Battle-O-Rama that Mr. Sam Fleming and I started, and go to the Carter House for $6.95. That's how low prices were back then. And we had no problem getting traffic. I felt like tourism is what we need, not just big industry. Let's not let Franklin, Williamson County become any town USA. I would say tourism still needs to be accelerated. So we are successful there, and Mary Pierce comes to me and she said, Calvin, we got a problem. The old stove factory out there, the county owns that, and they're going to tear it down. And no, they were going to allow a film company to come in and blast it up for movie effects. And then they're going to have to go to the landfill. We need to stop that. Even though it's not a great major historic thing, it was the county's largest employer here of people. And I agreed with her. Well, at Miss Daisy's, we had a waitress named Winona Judd. She, and every came there, she'd play her guitar and so forth. She wasn't all famous then. And she told me one day, she said, Calvin, after she became famous and all, Calvin, what I would like to do is find a place around Franklin where we could have where kids could go and work out, have a gymnasium where they could play basketball, and place where concerts could be and so forth. So there I called Naomi and Larry, her husband, and Winona, and I said, come out, I've got the place for you. And I showed them around. Whole roofs had fallen down in places. There was asbestos, there was just all these problems, and their manager was with them, and he said, no way did they want that, which was a lot of problems for him. The county was asking, or was it the city? Well, one of them, were asking $650,000, 46 acres, 17 buildings, 350,000 square feet. They were asking $650,000. And I thought it was worth it. Every time I'd show it, I could see things since I'd done Carter's Court and all, and I thought, oh, this is my so forth. And I thought, I like this. I think I went, 4 banks turned me down, where I had been a director of the Williamson County Bank, which had changed its name by then and all. They didn't want to have anything to do with it. So finally, I went to First Tennessee Bank. Rick Moody was the president then, and he knew my past success in real estate and so forth. He got the guys from Memphis headquarters to come up, and we walked through it, and I told them what I could do here and there and so forth. Finally, after lengthy conversations and their private talk, they said, okay, Mr. Lehew, we will loan you the money needed. I think it was like $6 million to get it started and all there. If you do, number one, you quit flying experimental aircraft, because I had lived through 5 major plane crashes. I think Maryland had something to do with that. But anyway, number 2, you've got to come up with $1 million of your money, not borrowed money. And number 3, we'll loan you the money as you go along, start up front and go back. Well, and there was a 4th one, I don't remember exactly what it was at the time, but wow, I've got to come up with $1 million. That was the worst part. I thought, I'm going to do this. I live on the edge a lot. Someone told me, if you don't go to the edge, you don't know how far you can go. I need to add at this point that Calvin Lehew has done very little about all this. I think about these things and then get others to create for me. Rod Pewitt, my nephew, has his office right in there. If it wasn't for Rod, I wouldn't be where I am. The other person, Marilyn, my wife. Now, I'll keep this short, but I married a damn Yankee from Pennsylvania, came down here, and we've been a thorn in each other's side a great deal. You marry opposites if you don't know. She's a perfectionist. She does all the work herself, and she's a great cook and all, thank God. And I've used her to bring up, when we needed traffic on both choices, Miss Daisy, so forth, she was there to come to my rescue. We've lived together 52 years, I think it is. And she's helped me through almost 3 bankruptcies. I got on the edge of bankruptcy 3 times and 5 plane crashes. Can you imagine living with somebody that goes to the edge this much and all? But Marilyn and I we've complemented each other. That has been one of the reasons that I have been successful in my endeavors.